Hey there, welcome to MI Tesla Guy, all things Tesla from an everyday guy in Michigan. Thank you so much for stopping by for this video. As the title says, I've officially crossed the 1-year mark of owning our Tesla Model 3. This past year has been unique in many different ways, as I'm sure you know, but I can say that it has been awesome as far as our Model 3 is concerned. I've tracked a lot of information and I have learned a lot, and of course, as you would expect, I've had a blast driving this car. So I thought I would make a two-part series of videos covering my first year of ownership. This video is going to focus on cost of ownership. So things like what we paid for it, operating costs, maintenance costs. The second video will focus on the car itself as far as my experience owning it over the past year and things like that. So with that, let's get into the video. If you followed our videos over the past year, you know that we purchased the Standard Range Plus version of the Model 3. If you're curious about that thought process and what went into it, you can click up there or the link in the description for the video down below. We took delivery on June 27th, 2020. If you haven't seen that video, again, you can click up there or you can click the link in the description below. There are a ton of videos out there from owners talking about the cost of ownership. So why should you watch this one? It's a great question. Maybe you shouldn't. But I plan on taking my typical approach, sharing the details, but presenting it in an easy to follow way, at least I hope easy to follow, and not getting too far down into the weeds. It's my hope that this video will help you realistically evaluate the cost of owning a Tesla Model 3. So as I mentioned, ours is a Standard Range Plus version. But the costs, except for the purchase price, really should be relatively close for the long-range all-wheel drive and for the performance versions. I think the logical place to start is with the purchase price, right? When you're buying one, that's what you're considering right off the bat. My focus is going to be on the car as it was when we took delivery. I'll mention some additional add-ons, some things we purchased and other things we did with it that cost money. But I want this video to be something you can watch and get the information you need to do an even up comparison with other vehicles you may be considering. So with that little caveat out of the way, here we go. Our base price for the purchase when we bought our car was $39,290. Now that included the destination fee of $1,125, the documentation fee of $75, and the order fee of $100. Then you tack on everybody's favorite thing, sales tax, which in Michigan is 6%, and that added $2,357.40. And the total comes out to $41,647.40. If I had been looking at something other than a Model 3, I would have most likely been looking at something like a BMW 3 Series, an Audi A4, or an Acura TLX, just to give you an idea what we were comparing. Vehicles that are roughly around the same price, although the Standard Range Plus version of the Model 3 is most likely the lowest purchase price of those options. Now, because I did not want to charge at the slow charge rate of the standard household 110 outlet, which comes with the car, I had a 50 amp outlet installed. Many times you'll see that referred to as a NEMA 1450. That cost $686 to have installed, and I purchased the NEMA 1450 adapter for our mobile charger. That adapter was $45 when I purchased it. I also purchased a second mobile charger to keep in the car because I know myself, and I knew I would be keeping one mobile charger always hooked up at home. Why? Because I'm forgetful. And I honestly didn't trust myself to remember the charger when we would go on a road trip. So it's all about knowing yourself. If you are interested in seeing videos of our first road trip and my home charging setup, I've put links on the videos on both of those topics down in the description below. Now, the additional mobile charger cost $325 when we bought it. If you look on their website now, it's what you would currently call the Gen 2 mobile connector bundle that is on the Tesla website. It is not the one that they have listed as the corded mobile connector. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at it. Now, after purchase, we immediately had front end paint protection film and full car ceramic applied. Again, this is something I would have done with any car in this price range, so I kind of considered a wash, but I want to let you know that. Now, When winter came around, we made 2 purchases. The first was a set of winter wheels and tires. Now, I gotta be honest, I got an amazing deal on those from a fella Tesla owner here, right in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was a factory set of 18-inch wheels with the Michelin X-Ice winter tires, and they hardly had any wear on them, so I'm grateful for that. And they did a fantastic job. I made a video on that as well. So the other winter purchase was the rear heated seat option for $300. The Standard Range Plus version of the Model 3 has a partial premium interior. Among other things, that means that only the front seats are heated in the vehicle. So we purchased the add-on of having the rear seat heaters enabled. Side note, how cool is that you can just go into the software, purchase something like that, and then your car has it? I think that is amazing. And if you ask our kids, they'll say it was well worth the $300, which of course, why wouldn't they? Because it's not their money. There were also some odds and ends accessories, such as nice floor mats, organizer trays, things like that. I even ended up doing a chrome delete on it. Now, these are the kinds of things I would purchase for any car I own, except for maybe the chrome delete. And I'll make sure to have a future video covering what I consider to be the best accessories that I own. That's something that several people have asked for, so I'll get there. Finally, we did end up purchasing the full self-driving package. It would have been much less costly to buy it with the car, live and learn, I guess. FSD has been an interesting experience. More on that in a different video. So there you have it. The initial purchase cost for a Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Now that you've got an idea of the purchase related costs, the natural question I think would be, how much does it cost to operate and maintain what I call the electric fun machine? Well, that's a great question. So let's take a look at that. Now I have to start by saying that the numbers I'm going to give you are not 100% spot on. You'll see some calculations based on average numbers over the past year. To be honest, I just didn't have the time to drill down all the way into each drive and extrapolate that out. You know, day job and all. So if you can spot me that little shortcut, I think you will still find the information helpful, okay? So I used a combination of information from my car, information from my Tesla account online, and information from TeslaFi, which is a data logging service for Tesla vehicles. I put a link for them down in the description below in case you're interested in checking them out. So from my car, I was able to get the following information. Over the past year, I put a total of 10,793 miles on our Model 3, much less than I normally drive in a year. To go those 10,793 miles, we used a total of 2,784 kilowatt hours of electricity. Now, when you average out over the past year my efficiency, that came out to 258 watt hours per mile. I gotta be honest, I was more expecting around 240 to 250 watt hours a mile, given that it is a Standard Range Plus model. But then again, I was a brand new Tesla owner, and let's just say that I very much enjoy the instant torque that it has. So we'll see how year 2 turns out. So next logical question is, how much did a year's worth of miles cost us? Great question, and one that I do not have an exact answer for, but I think I can get us pretty close. So my primary charging method is overnight at home, but over the past years I've charged at Tesla superchargers, I've charged at level 2 chargers, both Tesla chargers and non-Tesla chargers, and of course at home, my primary way. If you are curious about all of those options, I actually just recently did a video on that, so you can feel free to click up over there, or in the description below, I'll put a link there as well. So if you like simple, let's just assume that I did all my charging at home. When I add up all the surcharges and fees, etc. on our electric bill, because there's a lot of them, the cost per kilowatt hour comes out to 18.82 cents. Said another way, if I take my average monthly electric bill and divide it by my average monthly kilowatt hour usage, the cost comes out to 18.82 cents per kilowatt hour. Is that oversimplified? Yeah, I mean, probably, but I wanted to use easy math. So if you like easy math, there's your answer for that. So if I used a total of 2,784 kilowatt hours of electricity to charge the car over the past year, and we assume I did all the charging at home, the cost would be $523.95. By comparison, let's say you drive a car that averages like 40 miles a gallon. That same 10,793 miles would have cost you roughly $701.55. Now, This is based on an average cost of $2.60 per gallon in our area over the past year for regular fuel. It's much higher than that now. An annual savings of $177.60 or a monthly savings of $14.80. So I would say that's honestly not too terribly impressive, but I think there are a couple things you got to keep in mind when you're thinking about that. This past year was unique, okay? And it represents the least annual miles I have put on a car since I was a teenager, if you can believe that. I typically average 14,000 to 16,000 miles a year, and the more miles, the more savings versus a gasoline vehicle. And quite frankly, I'm not aware of any gasoline vehicle that averages 40 miles per gallon as far as fuel efficiency goes and can match the performance of my Model 3, even though it's a standard range plus, okay? It's the slowest version there is. Let me know. If you know a gasoline car that can get that kind of gas mileage with that kind of performance, drop it in the comments down below. I'd love to know. I'm all for learning new things. So keep in mind that I did not do all my charging at home. The example I just gave you said I did, but I did not. It also does not take into account that the cost of electricity is lower at night when I charge my car. Again, I wanted to make the math easy, so I did not try to break out the night charging or anything like that. I simply took the total electric bill divided by the total kilowatts used, and that is how I got my number. As I mentioned, I charged at superchargers and level 2 chargers. Using information from my Tesla account online, I know that I used superchargers 30 times in that 1 year of ownership. You currently get 1,000 free supercharger miles if you use a Tesla referral code when you purchase your Tesla. I used a friend's referral code when I purchased ours. So I received 1,000 free supercharger miles. If you are looking for a referral code to use, check with your friends. If you want to use mine, mine's in the video description down below. Also, I have been blessed to have several subscribers, several viewers like you who have used my referral code already. And because of that, I have several thousand free supercharger miles. Because of that, I have not paid for any supercharging. But let's say I did. Again, courtesy of my Tesla account online, if I had no free supercharging of any kind, those 30 supercharger uses would have cost me a total of $175.03. I do not know exactly how many miles I got from the supercharge use because that will really depend on your car's efficiency, and that fluctuates over time. But I can guess by using my average efficiency of 258 watt hours per mile. From my Tesla account online, I know that I added a total of 509.73 kilowatt hours during those 30 supercharger miles. That is, again, 509,730 watt hours divided by 258 watt hours per mile of efficiency, which comes out to 1,975.7 miles from those superchargers. A car averaging 40 miles per gallon would have cost roughly $128.42. That means it would have cost me $46.61 more for the supercharger uses. Of course, these numbers can fluctuate a lot based on which superchargers you use, what the cost of gas is at the time. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this number in particular, so please share your thoughts in the comment below. That number was the most interesting one to me as I did the math on here. And I may have done the math wrong, so let me know that in the comments below too. So other than electricity, or what I like to call the go juice, I've not had any true operating costs. Unlike gasoline vehicles, there have been no oil changes, no oil filters, no engine air filter, or any of that routine maintenance. I know those are routine because I've done all of those maintenance items on my other vehicle over the past year, which is a Hyundai Santa Fe. I have rotated the tires one time because remember I swapped out the normal tires for the winter tires and back. There was no charge for that at my local discount tire for the rotation. Like I just said, I did swap out the standard wheels and tires from winter to, I just call it all season and all season back. That actually was $15 each time I did it at discount tires, so a total of 30 bucks. Other than that, the only thing I've done is put windshield washer fluid in the car. Now, there will likely be some maintenance in year 2, actually kind of at the end of year 2. According to the manual on our Model 3, we're supposed to have the brake fluid checked every 2 years and replace the cabin air filter every 2 years. We started to get that musty smell already, so that might happen sooner. But and I'm supposed to have the brake calipers cleaned and lubricated every 1 year or 12,500 miles if living in an area where the roads are salted in the winter. We're in Michigan, so clearly I'll need to do that. And as far as other expenses go, really the biggest ongoing expense for me has been insurance. Car insurance costs in Michigan are bad. They're really bad. If you live here, you know what I'm talking about. Add to the fact that Teslas tend to have higher insurance costs anyway, and you have a pretty unfavorable combination. The total cost of insurance for my Model 3 over the past year was $1,590. I have no points on my license, nor does my wife have any points on her license. I did have a small accident during that time. Someone rear-ended my car while I was sitting at a stoplight. The accident did not cause my insurance rate to increase, because not my fault, so that was nice, although I prefer to not have an accident. If you want to know more about the accident, the repair costs, and everything like that, I did make a video about that. I'll put the link for that in the description below. So there you have it, a general overview of costs of the first year of owning our Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Knowing myself pretty well, I am sure I missed something, likely something that is really obvious. If so, if you caught it, let me know what it was in the comments down below. I very much look forward to chatting with you all down there. And I hope you found the video helpful and that you received some value from it. That's my goal with all these videos. If you did, would you please mind clicking that like button, the thumbs up down below? It really does help the channel and I appreciate it. And you may want to consider subscribing because I do try to bring value with each new video that I publish. So thank you again for watching and for being here, and I will see you in the next video.